Austin Dillon has joined us in the media center. We're also going to be joined here in a minute by Daniel Suarez. I know some of you all on deadline next door. Courtney, if you could get a wireless in the, there's Courtney right now. If we could get somebody maybe to get a wireless in the other room as well, in case somebody has a question back there, Lynn. Okay, we're going to roll right into our post-race. For tonight's NASCAR Xfinity Series Alsco 300 here at Kentucky Speedway, we're joined by Austin Dillon. He's the driver of the number 2, Dow Chevrolet. He came in third here tonight. Come on up, Daniel. And we're also joined by a race runner-up. That's Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 19 ARRIS Toyota, and he finished as our race runner-up. I'm going to start with you, Austin. If you wouldn't mind, just talk us through the race tonight. Certainly you were very much in contention for the victory, and maybe just talk about how things played out for you, how you thought things went with the new surface, and just your thoughts general overall about tonight's performance.
Yeah, I feel like we had a very competitive number 2 Rheem Chevy, and certain points in the race, I feel like we were the fastest car, running lap times faster than the leader. We just we went rights, lefts, rights, and then 4 tires, I think, and we're really good on lefts, and we're able to run to the 18. He just had spurts there in traffic where he could get away, and it was very hard at the beginning of the race to maneuver in traffic. Very good on restarts. We could take off well, as you could see at the end. We made a lot of stuff happen there, and the ECR power up through the gears were good tonight. I just didn't feel like we had enough steam once we got running there. I don't know what it was. We didn't have enough power to make passes enough. But hey, I tell you what, I'm proud of my guys. Danny, Stockman, and the boys. They brought a new car here. Really trying to catch these guys, these Gibbs guys. They've been really tough to beat all year. I mean, hell, they've qualified 1, 2, 3 everywhere, and it's like a feat just to qualify in front of one of them. So happy tonight to run second. We did a good job throughout the race making calls, and just wish turn 3 and 4 would have went a little bit different for us there at the end.
Thank you, Austin and Daniel. Certainly another stellar performance as you continue your quest for a NASCAR Xfinity Series championship. You certainly showed a lot of grit out there tonight, and on that final restart, maybe take us through what you saw happening out there.
Well, I knew that with all tires, the bottom wasn't the place to be, and I knew that with Austin behind it, it was going to be interesting. But my team did a really good job. I don't feel that we had the best car for the first half of the race, and I'm pretty much in the same situation than Austin. In the first stop was rights, and then lefts, and then 4, and then rights. And my car was really good in 4, but it wasn't as good in rights, and we end up with rights. So that's part of racing. I feel that we learned some good stuff for our next time here, the first race of the chase. We have still some homework to do, but overall a solid 8. I think, like I said, there's some stuff that we could have done a little bit better for the first half of the race. We lost some track position. I went sideways for half an hour in the 3 and 4 for couple laps. I'm really looking forward to see that on TV. And overall, a solid day. Looking forward for next week in Loudon.
And you make a good point there, Daniel. This will be the opening race for the chase in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, so that's a great point. We'll take questions now for Austin or Daniel. If you have one, raise your hand. Let's go all the way back in the back. Get that person the wireless. That's my man, Zach. Then we'll go to Chris, and then we'll check and see if we have any in the deadline room.
Zach Tansworthy, front stretch for Austin. Just recap that last move on the last restart. It was pretty gutsy.
Yeah, it was. I actually lined up behind Daniel, and I thought he had a good start, and I gave him one push, and then it was like it spun the tires, so I just pulled left and was able to run wide open through 1 and 2, and we come off of 2 beside Kyle, and all the way down the backstretch, I'm thinking, we're in a great position here because the outside just wasn't as good. I don't know if I gave him too much room getting in 3 or what, but he was able to make a power move there around 3 and 4 and hold on. I hadn't seen a car do that all night. I know I had to lift when I went in the outside, and he rolled right around there wide open. So just got to keep working to make our cars better, and I'll keep getting better. And we put ourselves in those situations more often, we're going to win a lot more.
Let's go back in the back. Chris Knight, go ahead.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. Austin, can you talk about Richard Childress Racing consistently tonight? You were the only car that was able to hang with the Joe Gibbs racing program, and what this does for you guys moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's good. You know, it's a new spec for us, and as far as car goes, and we got to work. Everybody had a little bit of trouble this weekend in our camp. We fought a couple. I mean, Ty, Brandon, and Brennan wrecked cars, so they all were a little bit behind with backups and damage. So coming back, I think they'll have a good program coming here to lean on the two team and really have something for everybody to chase.
For Daniel, last year here, finished 4th with your family here tonight, 3rd place finish. How important is it for you to run well and continue a strong season with your family here in town?
It's obviously really good. My family doesn't have the opportunity to come very often. Actually, this is the first race that they come of this year, and it's always excited and more fun to have them here and enjoy and to have some racing and family time at the same time. So it's always cool, and I'm really looking forward for the next couple races that they're going to stay here as well.
Any additional questions? Go ahead, we'll go right here.
For either one of you, since there were so many questions about, or unknowns about the track tonight, how would you grade the performance of the track itself?
Well, for me, I really like it. It's fast. I know that it's hard to pass, but I really think that slowly, I'm not sure if Austin agrees with me, but slowly the second group was coming. I really think that by the second half of the race, we had some good racing going on. And I'm really looking forward to see tomorrow's Cup race, because I'm sure that they are going to start making that second line work. I really think that Kentucky did a really good job with this racetrack. It's really fast, has a lot of grip. I think everyone is learning about this racetrack. Goodyear is learning. We still have some issues with tires, but it's all the learning process of the first time.
Yeah, I agree with what Daniel said. As the race went on, you kind of seen what the trucks saw. I feel like last night it started widening out, and you get a little too wide race in there. It's still tough because I think the fast lane's still the bottom, but I did see the 12 car starting to work. That middle lane in 3 and 4, which was pretty good to see, and a lot of laps tomorrow night, so I think it'll widen out, and the Cup cars are handling pretty ill, so I think you will see a good race, and there'll be some really good cars and some really bad cars with that right side tire that we're on.
Thank you very much, guys. Austin, I'll excuse you. I may have Daniel stay up, and if he wouldn't mind just addressing your performance tonight in the number 19 ARRIS Toyota, if you wouldn't mind, please, in Spanish for all of our Hispanic fan base, and certainly all of your many Hispanic fan base.
Of course. Pues bueno, muchas gracias a todos por su gran apoyo. Creo que fue otro fin de semana muy sólido para el carro número 19, ARRIS, Toyota Camry. Todos en el equipo de Joe Gibbs Racing hicieron muy buen trabajo. Otro fin de semana sólido, sin embargo, no exactamente lo que hubiéramos deseado. Creo que nos quedamos cerca una vez más de la victoria. Fue una carrera de muchos antibajos, al principio con cambio de llantas derechas y luego izquierdas y luego 4 llantas y luego derechas. Yo me senté muy bien con 4 llantas, pero no muy bien con las derechas, y ese fue la llamada para la última parada. Entonces no estaba muy contento, pero era lo que teníamos que hacer. Hay que seguir trabajando. Creo que nos llevamos un poco de tarea para casa. Vamos a regresar aquí a Kentucky para la primera carrera del Chase, y creo que va a ser interesante ver cómo podemos mejorar un poco más.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and certainly good luck next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Praying for tires. Mine's simple tonight. Mine's just praying for tires.
see you got all your friends here.
I did.
Congratulations, my friend. Thank you. That's awesome. She getting Coke?
Okay, Kyle Busch wins again for the 81st time in his NASCAR career. He wins in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's the driver of the number 18 NOS Energy Drink Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's joined by crew chief Chris Gayle and also vice president of competition for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That's Steve DeSouza. Is that your title, Steve?
What's your title today?
You added some names to that one. Yeah.
Did I?
Vice President of Competition Director? What is it?
General do it all.
Executive Vice President
Executive Vice President of Xfinity Series Operations.
of Xfinity Series Operations. Thank you, Kyle. Kyle always puts me in my place.
Whatever.
But anyhow, this is his fifth
GM
win.
of the shop.
Fifth win in 2016, his second win here at Kentucky Speedway. Kyle, talk about this win tonight. It certainly didn't come easy there at the end. Just talk about how you thought that things played out for you in the number 18 car tonight, and you had to fend off one of your teammates and then also the number 2 Chevrolet of Austin Dillon.
Yeah, obviously there at the end, we had a really fast race car and we were running some really quick lap times and trying to stay ahead of our teammate Daniel Suarez there for a lot of laps from that third to last restart, whatever it was. And then, I was hoping that it would just kind of go green to the end. I felt pretty good about where we were and about the gap that I had on Suarez. So, unfortunately, we got a caution there late in the game that kind of set up a green-white checker finish, and Suarez wasn't able to come home second, but we were still able to get a win. So, feels good to score that victory here tonight and get back to victory lane here at Kentucky Speedway. It's been a long, long time for the JGR Xfinity Series program. For me, it's been a long time, so it certainly feels good.
Very good. And Chris Gayle, tell us about this win here tonight. A new repave, a new tire. Just talk about all the preparation that you had to do and all the adjustment that you had to do the last couple of days.
Yeah, really there wasn't a whole lot of adjustment. We were definitely worried about the tires. We had seen only 10 laps or so in practice having blisters, so we kind of went into the night going, how long are we going to be able to go? We know when we're going to start blistering them, but can we run another 15 laps, 20 laps? What can we go before then maybe they come apart and create a problem? And we really didn't. I don't think anyone knew what that was going to be until we got into the race tonight. And then, once we kind of got those two, right side tire stops done earlier, and then got the full 50 lap stint on those one set of tires, and we could go 50 laps, and they were, they looked bad, but not as bad as what we saw in the truck race last night, and not as bad as what we expected. Then kind of relieved all of us a little bit, and we really didn't have to adjust on the car too much. We kind of had to make it take off a little better for him on the 1.4 tire stop, and he got loose towards the end of the last run, so we just made a couple small adjustments really, but it's a pretty good night not to have too many issues.
Absolutely. And Steve, certainly the Joe Gibbs Racing fleet continues to excel. All of your cars are just having super seasons, and just talk about that and what it means to the organization, certainly, and as you continue now, as we go towards the second half of the season, certainly you have 2 cars, obviously, that can contend for the championship as well.
Well, that's true. We have 2 that are contending for the Drivers' Championship, and then the 18 contending for the Owners' Championships. So all 3 of them are going after championships, and obviously we're really proud of the way and the effort that they're all putting together. All 3 teams work well together, and the results are showing up on the racetrack. So we're really proud of all the guys. Appreciate Kyle and Chris as our senior guys, helping the young guys come along, and that's paying dividends for the entire group.
We'll take questions now for Kyle, Chris, or Steve. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll bring you the wireless mic. Start right here with Gary.
Gary Graves, Associated Press. Kyle, what were you thinking during that one restart where Eric Jones's car seemed to stall and eventually handed the lead back to you?
Yeah, the restart before that where I chose the bottom, Chris Gayle and I were just talking about that, and I gave Eric Jones the top. I figured that was going to be the smart thing to do because I had been trying to run around some lap cars on the top side of 3 and 4, and you would just get so loose on entry, and then you would get so tight in the middle of the corner that you were taking a really big risk of getting outside the black and getting into the gray and potentially crashing your car. So that's why I didn't want the outside. I just didn't think it was going to carry the speed like the inside would, and Eric Jones proved me wrong, so I certainly learned from that. And then when he had his problems there with not being able to get the car refired, it just kind of handed the race back to us. And from there, I chose to restart. on the outside from there on out, and that's what won us the race. Just being able to have that outside and to have that control over the car on the inside. A guy could over push it and make a mistake and try to run you hard and get loose and run into you and push you up in the gray, but smartly, Dillon didn't do that, and we ran a good race, and we kept a lot of throttle through 3 and 4. I was nervous that I wasn't going to be able to clear him, but we were able to, and set sail from there that final lap.
I believe there's a question in the press box. Go ahead.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Kyle, my question is related to that. Did the fact that Eric was able to hold the top around you and get by you give you the confidence that you could make that same move against Austin? Yeah, it did. When Eric drove off into turn 3 with me, I started to roll out just a little bit because I knew I needed to in order to run the bottom, and he drove right on past me, and I was like, well, alrighty then. And I was waiting for him to slip and not be able to control his car in the black, in the rubber, and it stuck for him, and he made it work. So from there, I definitely learned that there was a little bit of speed up there, at least for one lap, for one corner, being on the outside of a guy, and also it kind of disturbed the air on my car a little bit too. So I knew that having that opportunity again, if I could have the top, then I'd be able to do the same thing. So that's what I did at the end.
Back downstairs, any further questions? Let's go right here. Chris Knight. Let's get this gentleman here. And I saw Chris back there. I'm sorry, Chris. Get this gentleman and then Chris.
Hey, Kyle, you want to talk a little bit about how much the track expanded as far as lanes tonight and how much more you think it'll grow tomorrow night?
Yeah, it did. Every night it's gotten a little bit wider. That's been an interesting trait for sure. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think that we would have that happen, but I think it has a lot to do with the racetrack, Kentucky Speedway, bringing in the tire monster and being able to put some rubber down. And it's not as slick as it probably could have been if they didn't run that, But 1 and 2 has certainly gotten 1 3/4 lanes wide. You can run 2 wide through there, but you're really pinching the guy on the inside in order to do that. So, you can do it with lap cars because you don't really run side by side with them. You just kind of, blow by them. And you're not side by side for a long time, so it doesn't disturb your car or their car for a lot of the corner. And turn 3 is still a little edgy, getting down in there side by side. There's times where the outside car, he'll want to turn down into the corner, and you're on his inside, or you're coming up to get to his inside. It makes you a little nervous because it is so flat there, and you do get so tight together that the air could come off your car. So turn 3 does get a little edgy. For sure, but the racetrack is wider than I expected it to be this weekend, and hopefully it continues to widen out a little bit more even tomorrow.
Go ahead, Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfans.com. Congratulations on the win. It's your first win here at Kentucky since 2004 on the Xfinity side. I know last year on the Cup side you got that cool trophy from Crosley, which is the jukebox. I'm just wondering what you might do with the Xfinity one.
I'm not sure. Certainly getting the one that we got last year was really cool. And being able to win the Cup Series 1 here, that was really special. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. Maybe we can get another one and have too many to deal with. But, this one right here, I guess tonight the Xfinity guys and Brexton are going to be fighting over that one. So we'll see who wins that battle.
Okay, and then also follow up today in Sprint Cup Series practice, one of the most brilliant saves I've seen in a Cup car in a long time. I was just wondering if you could walk us through what you were going through.
Yeah, I don't. The car was good. It was fast. We had just run 3 laps earlier than that, the fastest lap of the practice, and all of a sudden, just going through 1 and 2, it got a little bit loose on me, and then I throttled up and drove through that, and it was fine. And then I hit that bump out of the exit of turn 2 on the bottom side of the racetrack, and it just jumped sideways on me and lost traction, and somehow I held on to it from sliding and spinning out this way. And then when it kind of came back the other way, I just had to make sure that I had the steering wheel cranked to it so it wouldn't cut back and nose into the wall or hit the wall some way or spin out the opposite way. You just had to be ahead with the steering wheel. So it was definitely a very tense moment, one that I would not want to do again, but, certainly was a good show, I guess. So, it scared me enough that there's no more need for any more of that.
Any additional questions? Okay, guys, congratulations on tonight's win, and Kyle, certainly good luck to you tomorrow night here at Kentucky.
Thanks.
Claire, go out that door to the right. I'll take you.
Just follow to the end.
Yeah, I'll take you. Okay. Congratulations.